everybody. Thanks for being here this morning. Tim, would you like to start us off? President Dean. Good morning, fellow Rotarians. Good morning, guests. And this morning, our guests are Katie, our guest Suzanne. Good morning. Miriam King on Zoom. Miriam, good morning. Nice to see you. Have we got our Zoom people up there, Tim?
Sorry. Here.
So to our guests on Zoom, our Rotarians on Zoom, and to Miriam, a very warm welcome, Miriam, lovely to see you. And to our fellow Rotarians, thank you so much for being able to join us this morning. Jennifer, you are our guest speaker this morning. You'll be properly introduced in a few moments, but thank you so much for coming to Rotary. We appreciate you coming, and we're looking forward to your talk. So, how many watched the Canadian women in the World Cup last night? Wasn't that tremendous?
Amazing.
So for those of you who don't know what happened, for the first time in 9 years, the Canadian women won the World Championship. It went into overtime, all tied up. They scored a goal and they won, and it was terrific. And it was so terrific that one of the members in the celebration injured herself. So when she came out to get her gold medal, she was on a stretcher. So, but it's typical of Canadian women, and they're tough. How they persevere, right? It's just great. All right, so what else have we got here this morning?
Al, if you can come closer, I mean, think if people offline are having problems hearing you.
We won't do all that again, okay? I know you don't want that. So, I wanted to play It's a Wonderful World with Louis Armstrong last week. We didn't do that, but I have something for you this morning. Please bear with me for 2 minutes, President Dean. For those of you who haven't seen this, I think it's wonderful. I think it's a great thing for this morning for us. So, Tim, take it away, please.
Okay, let's hope this works.
All right, here we go.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, bright, blessed days, dark, sacred nights. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colours of a rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, "How do you do?" They're really saying, "I love you." I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Quite simply wonderful.
What I wanted to get across to you was, although we've experienced the last year and a half of very, very difficult times, we're slowly getting back to normal. And I wanted to remind everybody, it is a wonderful world. Thank you, Tim. Maybe we'll try this again next year, okay? Thanks, President Lee. Thank you, Al.
Jen has been a wildlife photographer educator for many years, helping people learn to coexist with our wildlife. She's been a part of a few biological surveys and won 2 education awards from the Lakes and Coast Region Conservation Authority in 2011 and Ontario Nature in 2016. Jen wrote an educational children's book about turtles, published in 2019 by the Toronto Zoo Adopted Pond Program. The books are available through her or the Toronto Zoo Adopted Pond, and it's titled It's Turtles Life. Jen has been a volunteer for Conservation for about 6 years. To date, from January 2021 to August 10th, she has caught 15 foxes with Mage. They have been treated and all but she released back to the wild, and she's done 3 talks locally about those foxes. Jen says it's very rewarding when you get to see these beautiful animals free again, healthy and full of life. Please welcome Jen. In January, I started getting reports in my neighborhood on the Big Point on native foxes. We put cameras up and caught her on the cameras, and she was caught within 3 days. And I had no idea that it was going to just continue on after that. People got to know who I was. This is Aria. The finders get to name them if they want. They all have charts just like we do, just like the doctor's office. Anyway, she was with us just about a month. I was able to go free again. Sometimes they're not allowed, they just can't handle the activity too long. So we make sure we try to keep them at least 2 weeks. It depends on the severity of it. And then they're treated again when they're released so that they're safe for another 3 months. And then they continue to get better. Mange is, especially in the den, if a parent has it, then the kids can get it. But at the same time, if you let us know that a parent has it, we're able to catch the mom through her feeding, she will treat the kids. So it would be a bring in, we have to weigh them, they have to be weighed so that they get the proper dosage. And then we can take them back. So them being gone for 2 hours from the kids is fine, because the bottle will have to bring it in. But she's got to be there to do that, so she has to be treated. So the rest of the foxes, we have caught some really bad ones, and right now I've got 3 or 4 still that I'm trying to get. I've got 2 family of kids that I need to get. I've got 5 so far. I was close to getting 1 last week. So I work really closely with the people who have the traps, and very fussy one who has the traps. They can't be left open at night, because obviously you're going to get other animals in there. We can't admit them at night, because there's nobody there to do that. We don't want to go in there at night and disturb the other animals. It's dark. You can't take chances transferring them over for losing them. So a couple of them have only gone in near the traps at night, so I have taken them and put them in my garage for the night. They were sick enough that they were calm, but I work pretty closely with the people who have the traps, and I have cameras on them as well. So the pictures come back to me, to my phone. This little one, he didn't have to stay too long, a couple of weeks. If they can be treated before they get too badly, then that's perfect. They don't get sick. But that means they're pretty healthy. It can be a pretty wild ride in the car. And it can be dangerous for them when they have, because they're going to hurt themselves. So we treat them and then we release them. But this one was the latest. He is still in there. And he was totally bare. He had sores, he had no fur. He was starving. So I believe this might be him earlier. So it took me 3 months to get him. And so that was a really big relief when we got him. So he's going to be with us probably another month before he comes back enough to be released. But he's got nice peach fuzz on him now, and he's coming back. We haven't lost any of them this year, aside from one that was hit by a car. We take in orphans, all kinds of orphans, no matter how big or small. We've even taken mice that they've got their mother and brought the babies into place, which is not always successful because they're very, very tiny, have to be tube fed. But all these foxes, they go through, some of them have to go through medical care. They have to be sedated to go through. Some of them have to be shaved to make it so bad. This guy had to be shaved because his mange didn't take his fur out. But it was all greasy and oily. He couldn't regulate his body temperature anymore. We actually caught him in a cat shelter, little cat shelter. We saw the camera, saw him go in, and then we set up traps and crates on the outside, and we ended up having to get our animal care manager in 6 hours later to get catchable and get back to couldn't regulate his body temperature. That was in January. It was cold. So we did 6 hours out there. But he wasn't going to. So he was with us for a couple of months, and he had to be shaved. That had to come in, had to have vet care. They don't all have to have vet care. We can take care of most of it ourselves. But if they're really bad, then that's usually what we end up doing. They go on antibiotics immediately to protect any infections that are going on. And then they get their treatments every 2 weeks. And upon release, they get another treatment. So that's a different medication. But they get pretty antsy in there when they're ready to go, and they climb the walls. We have to watch out for their behavior, and we have to protect them. So sometimes they got to come out a little early so that they're safe. But they are treated, and they do just continue to get better. So we have been posting this on our chats or so that they know that these animals have been treated. They may not be bushy. It takes a long time for all that to come back, and you can't keep them at all. So that just doesn't mean that they're mangy. It just means that they're going to get better. The ones that I'm treating down here off the 13th, that's Myron again. He broke my heart. I actually teared up with him because I've never seen him like that. And I was quite concerned he wasn't going to make it. But he did. She's weighing him there. They all have to be weighed. Immediately, that's the first thing that happens. All of the animals get weighed. That depends on how much medication we give them. It all has to be done safely. A lot of people ask questions about why can't we treat them in the wild? Well, for one thing, medication we use is dangerous to certain breeds of dogs. It can actually kill certain breeds of dogs. If you kill other animals, unless we're in control of trying to get it to them, we won't allow, our vets won't allow us to do that either. So it has to be done at the center, and this is how they look when they go free, like right back to normal. But you keep, so yeah, I mean, if I could treat one in the wild, but I won't because I can't mark it to say I've treated it. If it's in a crate, if you get it in a crate, we can spray paint it with a special painting brush. And then I know that it's been treated, because you don't want to treat them again if that's it. So there's a lot to treating these animals, and we don't allow people to do it. So we have to take them into, and it's the hardest part is getting them to the trial. So I'm getting close with these couple kits that are getting very close to going into trial. And it's keeping the people who have the traps calm because they get very excited, they get very discouraged. They see animal walk away. But that's not a common thing for an animal to go into, so it does take its time. It has taken 3 months or some. It's taken 2 hours for others. It just depends on the fox. Feeding foxes is a bad idea because they become tamed very easily. And then this is why I started these talks. I saw 2 children, I would say 8 and maybe 5, with their grandfather in a park. One little girl, the youngest one, had a plate of food. She was on her hands and knees to one of the kids. One of the kids that I'm trying to get, actually. And he was approaching her. He didn't speak English, so I was trying to explain to him why this was bad. But the little girls, they did, so they were going to do some teaching to the grandparents. Because that fox, with her right at eye level, that fox could have been her. Because she was nervous, she was pulling it forward, and he told her to do it. That fox could have come out and took her face off. So, I mean, it's highly unlikely that a kit will do that, but it's also possible we don't want to do that. And because after that, if that happens, the MNR is going to be contacted, and perfectly healthy little kid is going to be put down because it hit somebody. And it's not that fox's fault because no idea what it's doing. You're the one in control. So don't feed wildlife in that manner. A lot of people believe they do. And then we get the call that something happened, and through us, because we're managed under the MNR, we do have to report things. If any of us get bitten, it's doing for the animal. So, because these are rabies vector species, even though rabies is not in the area, we have to wear gloves. When we're handling all animals, we have to wear gloves. If we're handling rabies vector species like these guys, when they have to be handled to get sedated or whatever, or to get treatment, we have to wear special white gloves. And if we get caught not doing it, it's a bad thing. So there's a lot of rules and regulations that you have to follow in wildlife rehab. And they're all worth it when you get to see. I've been releasing the foxes I've been catching, and there's nothing better. There's no words to describe to watch that animal go free. And often, as you can see, you have no idea what they really even look like when you see it. And then they turn into this beautiful animal. They each have a personality. Even the raccoons, a lot of people have. So many issues. Well, I can tell you they're an incredible animal. We raise them, we get them in as eyes closed babies. We raise whatever is brought to us, and then in the fall, we're actually doing full release right now, trying to get them back there. And we take in injured and sick as well. If you have anything, any problem, somebody had a fox living under their cottage in the winter, one of them got electrocuted. So we worked with them to get that fox out. So always call wildlife rehabilitation facility, and the number is on the last slide. And we'll assist you in what you can do to get an animal to move on its own, to get a mother to move on its own, if you hold to let her babies. So we'll assist you with everything that we can. Like right now, we're not admitting any animals, but we'll help you to find a place in this. Everybody with COVID, it's also been different for us. We haven't had the amount of volunteers. We've had volunteers just not show up, leaving the ones there with nothing. You got all these animals to look after. You have to look after them. You can't take any more in than you can handle. So it's been really tough to make this go. got people who come in outside and look at the outside animals, and we've got inside nurseries, we've got emergencies that have come in this year, which time before. We've lost a few more because of the emergencies were just dealt with too late. People tend to find an animal and think, I can do this, I can nurse it back to health. Don't ever try it. Then when we get it, a week later, we can't help it, it's too far out. They go down fast because an animal has, they just do not accept the fact that I'm sick. They don't show that sickness until often it's too late. If they show their weakness, a predator is going to get them. We all have predators. We are the biggest. So never look after anything, always follow out. You get there as soon as possible. It's usually, if you try to feed a tiny little infant, they mostly have to be tube fed. And we all have to be trained on how to do that. Try to do that on your own, or try to feed the syringe on your own, and it goes in the wrong place, it goes into their lungs. They'll get pneumonia, and they get very sick really quickly, and within hours they die, or sometimes it takes days. But that's usually when they come to us, and then it's stuff. So you need to know that we're here for you, and if you have any mangy foxes, please contact Rosetown Wildlife. They will contact me if it's in Innisfil area. I'm not going outside of Innisfil area, but I am doing between the 13th and Guildford. So if you find any and you're concerned about them, let us know. And then they will get in touch with me and I will get in touch with you. And I ask for schedules on how long you're seeing them, how often you're seeing them. You don't just see fox knives and let them try. It has to be coming for a few days, regular basis, because they're just passing through. So it's all a routine that these foxes have taught me on how it all works. Because we don't rescue, we're not rescue. We don't have manpower to do that. So we just work together, and it's been an amazing community effort on catching these foxes. And then when they go home, they go right back to where I caught them, and the people get to be part of that release. They're the ones who work hard at getting them in that trap. You know, under my supervision, they're the ones doing the work. So, and then I get called, go and pick them up, and I take them in. So we work together, and so far it's been very successful. And this little guy, he didn't stay with us long. We're not even sure why some of them went in the traps, because they were perfectly healthy, but people feed them. So it makes them vulnerable to things they shouldn't be doing. We've recaught one 3 times because she's been tamed. So we just don't want that. We want them, when they go home, we want them to be wild. So usually dealing with us every day, because we have to feed them, we have to medicate them, they get to the point where they don't want anything to do with a person. So this is what our goal is with all of our wildlife that comes in kind of tame, because people do think it's cute. But their lives are in jeopardy if you do that. So you can't, they don't need you to survive. Like I said, they know exactly what to do. So just keep them safe. You know, any garbage or anything you have, you can watch their tracks with that on that, if they're hungry, if they're sick. So just try to maintain everything so that they can't do it. Don't leave anything else alone. And then it'll all work out. To watch raccoon families and hear them going down the street at night, mom and that happening. It's pretty cute. And when we get the babies, they'll be cleaned. They go in stages. They're in the nursery, then they go in the toddler room. Eventually they go outside. And when they get cleaned, it's not uncommon for within 10 minutes for that to be totally disaster. And look like it never was cleaned. So it's nonstop from the beginning of the shift to the end of the shift. It's almost like they don't do anything. The next shift starts, there's cleaning, there's sanitizing, especially with COVID, everything has to be even more so. And food preparations, it's medications, it's never stops. So it's a lot of work, it's not just feeding other people who grow up. So anybody who knows anyone who's wanting to volunteer, we are taking volunteers. It is $100 non-refundable fee. You get a t-shirt, the manual, you get training. But we're charging the $100 because we're having too many people coming in and leaving the same. So we have to know if you're going to pay $100, you're going to be serious. And hopefully it will. It's not for everybody, but if you don't do animal care, there's some awful lot of animal care people do their job. So it's very rewarding. And if you are interested, just give us a shout. Up to 18. Yeah. I guess that's all I probably have time for.
Yeah, we have time for a couple of questions.
Okay.
I have two questions. Prior to you releasing them, do you take them or mark them in any way to know that they came back?
No, now we are with these foxes, they're not very cheap. They have about, I guess, 9 or so. So we are marking them, but we don't do anything else. We don't have the funds to do it. We don't run on government funding at all. They don't fund us at all. So it's all donations that come in. M&R is also in control of a lot of that stuff. They don't deal with things like that. Chances are when you catch a fox or a coyote, you're never going to see it again. It's just that we have so many. So we are using that paint. We give them a big blue dot on the back. But it doesn't wear off. So it's kind of letting us know that we've got that fox for probably a month or so. And it is only going to continue to get better. So it will get nice and bushy, so we're going to know that that's not the one we're trying to get. It affects their face, it affects their tail, they get sores in their butt. So we know that these guys, even though they're looking pretty good elsewhere, they've got those sores and they're itching like crazy, you know, they have to. So we're very careful about who we're catching and who's getting treated.
And what about their litter? How many babies in a mother fox have?
They can have anywhere from 2 to 10. Yeah. The one I'm getting right now, she had 7, and we've got 5 so far. But then another litter has come in because obviously when you're trying to trap them, you're putting food in the traps. So you're going to attract other things. I only allow that when there's a trap set. I don't let them. As long as there's no more food on it. But that has to be how we lure them in. To put something really raw, really stinky. So they can have quite a few. Now we got 2 families, so we still have 3, I think. Yeah. You watch her, you see her, she's ready to trap, and she's not ready yet. Once they get the eyes closed with the mane, their eyes will actually.
Well, thank you very much for your presentation,
Thank you.
Jennifer. We do have regular business to get on with, so you're more than welcome to hang out and see what else we do.
I do have handouts over here if you're interested too. It'll have our contact and other sheets for kids, which tells you on the back how to handle baby animals.
Moving on then, it's a big morning for Jeff from 10 year for year early bird contest.
It is. So who's gonna get the draw the ticket? Somebody looks official?
Why don't we get our speaker to draw a ticket? Yeah. Correct. Would you like to draw the winner of early bird draw?
Good spin on it, right?
This way, when my wife wins, I can't get in trouble.
Amy Sanderson?
Oh, that's my neighbor, town girl. Tammy sold 5 books for us.
Oh, wow. That's good. Good guy.
That's her not at work. Yeah. Great, I can let her know, and then next year I'll expect her to sell 10.
You can tell Tammy, Al, that, her ticket goes back into the drum. That's right, that's eligible for the next.
Do that right now.
Let's document this.
I mean, you gotta write down our information.
And that's great when you can go back to someone you sold a ticket to and say, guess what?
Great.
Yeah, but now I gotta go home and tell my wife. So speaking with Jeff and this morning about the sales, we still have lots of books left. We have made enough to cover this draw, so anything we sell from now on is money in our bank. We can use that for more giveaways, more things in the community. So let's get out there and sell some more books.
We got 2 months.
Until December,
Yep, free.
so get it there and sell them. They're easy sells.
Did you have anything?
Oh, sorry, about that. Unfortunately, I discovered late last night as I was doing my final audit that Square, the system that we're using for the online transactions, has decided to change its policy last minute. They will no longer allow raffle tickets to be sold through Square. So now we have to do things through cash. Unless we come up with a plan that people are not buying raffle tickets, they're buying a pamphlet from Rotary that just happens to give them a raffle ticket alongside it. So we can discuss offline, but yeah, so we need to now really start pushing the cash transactions. Please contact your neighbors, your friends, everybody else that's gonna be sold. We can't use the website right for the moment.
And the books, if you guys get them, please don't take them apart, because we gotta keep tally with the books are, except for the ones that are sold. If you take them all apart, it's hard to see which books are in and which books are right. We have probably, what do you have, Jeff, 20 some books?
I put 22 bucks into the drum.
Yeah, I put 50,
And
60 books in.
I still have a few left here.
Yeah, so sell the tickets, they're easy to sell, 3 for 25, we give them 12 tickets for $100. That's what I sell. Back up, so $100, done. It's easy. And then we'll talk to our treasurer.
That's another.
There's no problem with people transferring you money, like you can still do that personally, right?
They can, but I transferred money to Chris last night. Yeah, I don't saw yet. But so I'm assuming that's also a viable way.
Yeah, so e-transfer is very easy. I just.
It doesn't matter to me because they're free transactions to me. So if you want to send me them so I can keep the track of them and then send them on bulk to Chris too, that's fine.
That's
Whatever.
what I get some of them too, by e-transfer.
Yeah.
I just send a picture of the stubs and the ticket, and everybody's happy, I get the money, so.
Yeah, I have them just send them to me and then just send them on top. Doug is not with us this morning.
Nope.
But Bottle Drive, Tim, you have a sign-up sheet going out for the Bottle Drive coming up on the 18th.
Yes, I was waiting until we got ready for the garage sale and then I was gonna get that out. So yes, that will be out shortly. Sign up for the bottle drive.
What is that?
The bottle drive, when is it, sir, you're asking? That's the 18th? 17th?
18th.
Yeah,
It's either the 17th or the 18th.
that's right.
It's that weekend.
It's that weekend.
President
So-
Dean, it's the 18th, and for the benefit of those members who may not realize, we're going to be in 3 locations on the 18th. We're going to be at the Cookstown Arena parking lot, the Stroud Arena parking lot, and also at the church.
Thank you, Ann. Sorry, I didn't see you on the screen behind Tim. I knew you had a lot of information as well.
Can I just say, the arena parking lot's a bit of a misnomer in Cookstown, it's actually the library one. The one happens to be on the property, there's no arena in.
That's right, sorry, the library.
Yeah,
Is it
there's
not an
no
arena? Is there not an arena there as well? I thought there was an
It's
arena as
the
well.
front of like, which is private.
Okay, so it's the, yeah, where the library is in Cookstown.
Library, yeah, so we'll make sure in the posters and things like that, we'll make sure it's called properly. Thanks, Mark.
Moving on to the garage sale. Ann and the team have been working diligently to get most of the stuff priced. I know there's still some donations left to come in this week. you're bringing your own donations to the sale, please make sure you price them. Help save stuff, save time that morning. Friday evening, Anza should be home all day. So we need all hands on deck after work Friday to load up the trailers with everything stuff to get it down to the front of the property. We're gonna leave it up there, so first thing Saturday morning, it'll be easy just to take out and put it on display. So the sign up is out. 3-hour sections.
Yeah, I set a 3-hour sections, so I figured, I mean, if you have to leave early, just let somebody know. We just try to create them into just 3-hour blocks. That gives us 2 hours each day to set up. I don't know if we need the extra setup on Sunday, but I left it there just in case. So 6 o'clock to 9, 9 to 12, 12 to 3, so that somebody can help close, because the other thing ends at 2 o'clock.
Do you need anything like tents or anything like that, like canopies?
I have one that I'm bringing.
Yeah, but I have the Rotary one, not the big one, but the small one we'd be using for the farmer's market. It's not doing great, but we can use it for at least one more event. And we have lots of tables. Bring it along.
We have a lot of trees on the side of the property too for shade.
I don't, but I think if we had a couple of those canopies that people can sit under, I don't think it's gonna be especially hot, but if you wanted to relax for a bit, a couple should do it.
Yeah,
It's always best to be prepared. So thanks, Jeff.
I know in the rain of my kids' football games, we can put 12 under my tent. So yeah, we've got a couple, one more wouldn't hurt. You've got tables, Jeff, I've got a table. Tables are the most important thing right now.
Yeah. I got the Rotary one as well at my house.
How are you working it, like cash? Someone just handling it, and are they going around, and then there's just one cashier?
That's the way I was thinking. I was going to talk to Chris about getting the float and everything set up for it. I was talking to him a little bit about it this morning. So if I can discuss that. But yeah, I've got a cash box and everything. And I guess we can all operate.
So if someone comes to the table, we just tell them to go to the cashier.
Yeah, we can.
I could just make a suggestion. When Friends of the Library used to have their book sale at Wingding, we would have 3 or 4 people who would talk to folks interested in buying books, but then the money would go to one person. So decide on somebody maybe who's going to handle all the cash, and just the to and fro getting change, that sort of thing.
Sure. Yeah, no, that works. I plan on being there all day as well. So.
And for some of the potentially higher price items, if we want to have the actual Square device, because we can actually use it for sales, you can still, if somebody says, listen, I want to buy this item, but I don't have cash, we just say, well, got a machine.
Yeah, that was my
Saves them leaving the property, going to a debit machine, and maybe making a change of heart and not coming back. So let's get them in the moment, so I'll make sure that's there. So.
Yeah, that was my next thing, because yeah, there are some larger items there.
Yep.
And to share on your Facebook pages too.
Yes, I don't know if anyone called it the Rotary Club on their social media, but they posted around their social media last night for us. Well, I know, not hopefully, we will have a great turnout for that. Janet, you have some time this morning to discuss district grants.
Okay, so, our district, there's actually 2 levels to this. Every year we have to do a, memorandum of understanding about Rotary and around district and global grants, and it's a training session to do once a year. Online, we've already passed the ability to apply for a district grant because we don't have anybody registered right now. So I was in talks with Mark Walton, who is the chair of all our grants, and they're going to say or allow us to will be recognized for that training. It can be 1 or 2. We need to have at least 2 people that are trained in the grant process. And then what we'll do is we'll just load that up so that if we have a grant coming up that's a global grant, will have the ability to participate. So the grant that we have currently going, that's just closed off with the Wasaga Beach one, it was out of the Dominican. We had gone through a global grant for $3,000. Everything's been approved. We are to receive a check for $3,000 from RI or from the foundation. And then what's going to happen is we then write a check to Wasaga Beach for that $3,000 to recoup the coverage of the cost that was outlaid for that particular grant. So if anybody is interested in getting registered, or not registered, but trained on the Rotary grants, email me. And then what we'll do is we'll set up a online, or if we can here, a training session. Takes about 2 hours from what we've done before. I can set it up so that it's online and one person answers the questions and we all get covered for it. So it's just a matter of process really. So that if we do have a global grant come up again in the next within this next year, then we'll be able to do it. And sometimes, like we saw with COVID, there was a district grant that came up out of the blue for COVID. So we want to be prepared for that just in case. So that's my presentation.
Thank you, Dennis. Anyone have anything else for old business to discuss?
Actually, RLI. Okay, the Rotary Leadership Institute starts on the 18th. It goes from 9 to 11. It's a Zoom, and it is open to anybody. It's not something that you have to be a leader already to do it. Anybody can do it. It's 3 weeks in a row for level 1, every Saturday from 9 to 11. It's a really great opportunity to learn not only about Rotary, but also about leadership styles. So I entreat anybody, there's still some space. We're taking up to 24, and I believe there's 2 people that are interested from our club already, but we're definitely going to look to open it up to more people if we can.
There's still spaces left, you said, on this one?
Sorry?
There's still spaces left?
Yeah, there's still spaces left for level 1.
Okay, I know when Tim and I did it last year, they've sold out.
Yeah. So, but it's also opening up to other districts as well. So we want to try and get our guys in there first. So.
Okay, perfect. Anyone have anything else to add for old business? Anyone want to bring up for new business?
That's back on now.
Time left. We want to be doing good news round. I don't know how our sound is working with people on the screen. We'll end of speak.
It's
Hit or miss. Let's start
It's
with
hit and miss, so if you can, try to project a little bit more towards the camera. I will aim to push it towards you. So yeah.
Why don't we start with the screen? Why don't we start with Ann Smith?
Just happy to be able to join the meeting this morning by Zoom. So good to see everybody.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, just great weather. Glad to join in. Have a great day, guys.
Thank you, Ken. Wonderful seeing you this morning. How are you? Do you have great news for us? Or good news?
Can you hear us? Ken, can you hear us?
Yes, happy to be here. Had to turn the volume up, sorry, but great meeting. Thanks very much for doing this. Really appreciate it.
Eleanor, how are you?
I'm great. The weather is cooler, feeling much better. And just great to be here. Next week I'll try and make it.
Thank you for joining us this morning. Miriam.
I think the mic's not working.
Nope, nothing.
No mic.
Nope, you're good? Thank you. Barry.
Our granddaughter, who is 4 years old, is going to junior K, which is a big momentous occasion for us and her parents. So we're hoping we can get there to see her off.
I know a lot of people are excited to send their kids off to school. Tim.
So I mentioned last week that I was going back to the local Toastmasters Club. Tomorrow night I'm going to be there. Deborah McGrath is going to be speaking, and I've actually offered to evaluate her, so I don't know if anybody knows Debbie, but she's a fantastic speaker. If people are interested in checking out what Toastmasters is about and see a good speaker and see a good evaluation, hopefully, please feel free to join.
Can you send us the link?
Sure.
My great news is that we've been dealing with a health issue in our home with my wife. And 4.5 months ago, she was diagnosed with Parkinson's. So in COVID times, it's very difficult to get to see specialists. We were told that it would be about a year, maybe even more, before she could see a specialist and really find out exactly what was going on and the treatment. Well, my goodness, the other night she got a phone call from a specialist's office. She had to be there the next morning, which she was, and he examined her, and she doesn't have Parkinson's. However, she does have an underlying health issue with her balance and her heart. But to hear she doesn't have Parkinson's was a huge relief in our home. So that's my good news this morning.
Everyone, it's been a little while, so glad to be here. This past week, we were actually able to leave the province, went out to Banff for a week, so it's like the first big trip of like a year and a half or whatever. So that was nice, had a good time, and then Tuesday, my daughter starts grade 9, so she got our orientation today. She was excited, we'll see what happens here.
You just told my builder. Yeah. My youngest son starts grade 9 and has orientation day. Our kids were in the same class all in that
Hey, good morning, great to be here. Nice to be here in person. No real great news. The big news is, of course, everybody's going back to school next week. So we have our all hands on deck campaign starting on Monday. So slow down, be careful, or you're getting a ticket. Make our kids safe.
Back to school campaign is code word for speed traps.
We actually deploy every one of our officers in plain clothes. Everybody has to go for at least one day during the week in uniform. So we, it's a bit of a blitz, but it's all going to be around the school zones and stuff like that to make sure the kids are getting to school safely. There's lots of kids that are going to be running around. You know, they haven't been to school for a while, so they're going to be excited. They're going to be crossing the road, they look right looking, and the whole thing. So make sure everybody stays safe.
Well, I got the same thing. I got a granddaughter going to grade 9 next week too, so she's all excited. And glad the weather got colder because my air conditioner quit.
Morning, just happy to be here this morning.
Good morning. Good news story. Weekend spent a weekend with my 18-month-old grandson. That's fantastic.
I'm just happy to be here, and sad that I won't be at the garage sale, because I love garage sales. So, thank you.
Our best seller's not going to be there.
She's going to be biased.
Good morning. My good news is we have a bountiful harvest this year, especially the tomatoes, and nobody leaves until they take them and they're gone. Hi, everyone. My name is Katie. Really glad to be here today. Some good news for me. We're celebrating my youngest second birthday on Friday, so we're very excited to be doing that at our tournament.
Good morning, everybody. That was a great talk. I found that really inspirational and knowing just what's going on in our community, especially with our animals. We have, as Al can attest, all sorts of animals around us. We hear the dog, the foxes, and the coyotes at night as well. So it's good that they're actually being looked after. So that's awesome. We've had a great week because Ken and I went out for a nice motorcycle ride last Saturday, which was awesome. We beat the rain, which was good. And yeah, we're looking forward to a few more rides before it gets too cold.
Good morning. I guess kind of similar to Al, I've been going through a health issue with my son for over a year. Had his appointment yesterday with a specialist and he's not there. So I'm happy with that. Grade 10. We actually had a orientation for them yesterday, which was nice because we didn't have that last year. So both kids go back to school. I'm happy mom.
Morning, everyone. Thank you for the talk today. Actually, we had a little squirrel that landed in our deck. Its mama ran away or something, so we actually just brought it in the house, warmed it up. It was really cool. Called you guys, and you took the little baby. So it was great that my mom could do that, and we did make our donation that day. So thank you for looking after that baby. But on the other hand, my parents, I applied for the Simple County Senior Friendly Grant for them to do some renovations in their house because my father does have Parkinson's. And so we received a $15,000 grant from them. So if you have anybody that's, got an illness or anything like that, and there's money available, it's been cut off now, but you can always apply for next year. So I'm very happy. Yeah.
Good morning. My good news is the Smile Cookie campaign is coming back to work in a couple weeks, and it's our first year for the hospital. So we're really looking forward to everyone buy cookies September 13th to the 19th. There's over 600 charities participating this year, and they're looking to raise over $13 million. So make sure you get your cookies. You can order boxes of them, get them out calories, you do not have them.
My good news is just really happy. Really love people that are a little bit overwhelmed with things that actually scattered out completely. So very helpful. So those things to the drop of this scattered.
For our guests, do you have any good news to share with us today?
Well, I guess with all the boxes that I have caught in during COVID, all we hear about is that. Every day I'm in the world, we hear about that. With these boxes, they have brought a lot of kindness out of people to help us with passion. And that really was amazing. So the community effort and the care of wildlife, people how they care, they were home, they see more, they really made yeah, to see the kindness out there and really touching.
Thank you very much. Lots of great news out there. Most importantly, kids are going back to school. Janet, do you have anything for learning order today?
Yeah, I do. Okay, so today's topic is the object of Rotary. In some areas of the world, weekly Rotary meetings begins with all members standing and reciting the object of Rotary. This statement, which comes from the Constitution of Rotary, is frequently seen on a wall plaque in Rotarians' offices or places of business. And we have one of the banners that we would normally have. I don't see that today. The object of Rotary is to encourage and foster the ideal of service as a basis of worthy enterprise. The statement then lists 4 areas of which this is ideal of service is fostered through the development of acquaintance as the opportunity for service, the promotion of high ethical standards in business and professions, through service in one's personal business and community life, and the advancement of international understanding, goodwill, and peace. The object of Rotary has not always been expressed in this manner. The original Constitution of 1906 had 3 objects: promotion of business interest, promotion of good fellowship, and the advancement of best interests of the community. By 1910, Rotary had 5 objects as increased emphasis was given to expanding Rotary. By 1915, there were 6 objects. In 1918, the objects were rewritten again and reduced to 4. 4 years later, they had again grown to 6 and were revised again in 1927. Boy, they had a problem now making sense of things, right? Finally, at the 1935 Mexico City Convention, the 6 objects were reinstated and reduced to 4. The last major change came in 1951 when the objects were streamlined and changed to a simple object, which is manifested in 4 separate ways. The ideal service is the key phrase of the object of Rotary. The ideal is an attitude of being thoughtful and a helpful person in all one's endeavors. That's what the object truly means. And that's your framework.
Thank you, Jen. So before I adjourn today, I just want to make sure everybody signs up for the garage sale as much as possibly can for this Saturday. I'm sending an email out. Tim will be sending a reminder out with the sign-up sheets. You can come for an hour, you can come for 2 hours. Please sign up. The more people we have, the more better. So with that, Monica will have a short membership meeting quickly after this. And Chris, you got to talk to everybody. So thank you, everybody. Have a great day.